Said I'm all about it. Yeah.
Let's get into it because, Adam, what do you want to bitch about today?
I mean, I have a list, but today I want to talk about a little bit social media and going down the rabbit hole because it's so toxic. Like, Jason, and I'm just going to kind of take this away for a second. For me personally, we have our YouTube channel. Now we have a podcast. We get comments all day. We get engagement on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Like, it's wild. And sometimes the comments are not so great. Most of the time, they're amazing, but it's really toxic to look at. And then, just like we had this conversation with Ryan Bailey, we're watching some of these housewives like Elisa Rinna, who I agree, I don't want her to be fired from the show, but she's so toxic. And then
listen, whose fault is this though? Let's really talk about this because social media for me, is this social media's fault and what it's become? And that's why Lisa is reacting to that. Is Lisa part of the problem of social media? Because when I started on social media, it was very different. We're talking MySpace and then Facebook. But when Instagram started, and now Instagram is like the main, what I think is the main thing. I know the younger kids are into TikTok and Snapchat, but Instagram used to be, that is. It used to be a place where you can share your photos, your experiences with your friends. It used to be positive. At some point, that turned into a place of critique. It turned into a place of photoshopping and filtering photos to make it look like you're living a better life. And social media to me has almost become a sad place. However, it hasn't lost that connectivity of connecting you with your friends, your family, and people all over the world, especially for what you and I do, to be able to communicate with our listeners, with our subscribers from YouTube. It is so important. So it's really like a double-edged sword. It's like, what do you do and what do you choose to take in and what do you choose to ignore?
Listen, it's like a tool, okay? And I don't mean to make this sort of gruesome comparison, but that new show, Dahmer, Ryan Murphy's new show, Dahmer, came out on Netflix. And I was just thinking about it. Like, a hammer is like a tool. It can be used to build houses, and it can be used as a weapon, which is like social media. Social media can be used to really get out great messages, to help charities, to help get things out there and more reach, but then it can also be used as a weapon. And I think that's the part that's so toxic because people get addicted to that part. I've even told you before, Jason, I find myself sometimes with some of my best friends arguing back and forth on social media, almost as if like the housewives, like it's politics and we're talking about the president. We're arguing because they post ridiculous stuff defending some of the most ridiculous characters on these shows.
They're also defending things that they would never know about unless they were on social media. Right. And I think that's the point where it's like, maybe sit back and instead of voicing, what you think is your opinion, because opinions change all the time with more information, maybe just sit back and let it, kind of marinate just a bit. It's so crazy. We're so quick to jump nowadays.
Right. But I think a lot of people too, and I noticed this with some of my friends who, when we get together, or just even people on social media, it's like, you're not getting paid to be on the show. You don't have a contract. You are simply acting as a mouthpiece for someone that you don't know, but in your mind, in the little bit of editing that you get on a show, you're going on and blindly defending. And that's where I have to take myself out of it and be like, oh, okay, I'm just talking to an idiot.
There's an easy way to think about social media. I mean, this is how I think of it, right? The stakes aren't that high. It's social media. It's a lot of words. If you're on Twitter, it's a lot of, fake filtered photographs. If you're on Instagram, on Facebook, you can connect just to your family, but the stakes aren't high. In your real life, the stakes are high. So focus on your real life instead of, I just feel like sometimes people just want to be heard and they want to be mean. I mean, think of all the trolls and bots that are going around right now. I mean, we're just talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, how people are accusing one or more of the housewives of sending attack bots on different people's platforms. I mean, is this Star Wars? Like, we're sending attack bots? We're sending the drones out to...
I'm starting merch for Hot Messy Podcast.
What kind of merch? For what?
For Hot Messy Podcast. I'm starting merch because I'm a true entrepreneur at heart and I love to make money off of the most ridiculous things. It's going to be merch that says social gains, like Go buy a house, go put money down on something, go get a new job, read a book, further your education, like gain
For
something.
every comment you put on Instagram, you should put $1 in your savings account.
Social gains, not social media. Boom. New
There you
merch.
go, girl. There you
Yes.
go.
Yes.
Thinking
See,
like a true hero.
look, we turned
Here
this
he
negative
is.
this negative bitch session into a positive bitch session. How about that? I
How
love
about
this
that?
podcast
You know what?
platform
I can't
already.
call you Up and Adam on here because this isn't Up and Adam. You're Adam Newell, host of a hot, messy podcast.
No, girl. I'm Adam motherfucking Newell on this
Oh,
podcast.
Lord.
Okay.
Girl, bring it down a notch. We were just talking about this. Like,
I'm just kidding. You know what's so funny? We talked about this too. We had, and we're going to end off on this, guys, but we did our Spilling Tea tour. And after that, we've met a few people out and about just randomly because Jason and I travel a lot for interviews. And when we have people come up, they'll say, "Hi, Up and Adam and Down with Jason." And I always joke with them and I'm like, "No, just Adam and Jason."
just
So,
Adam and Jason. That's it.
So now just Adam Newell. Yes.
Adam motherfucking Newell. There we go. There's some more merch for you to sell to
No,
maybe your
that's not how I
parents.
talk. No, it's not how I talk. I take it all back. But with that bitch session over, I'm putting my foot in my mouth.